Maybe it's just me, but sometimes I kind of forget that Zion Williamson plays basketball at all because he misses so many games, and then you have a game like last night where it's Spurs Pelicans, it's him against Wemby, and it's like, oh yeah, this is appointment viewing. I have to go and make sure that I'm watching Victor Wembanyama against Zion Williamson, and this game delivered times 10. We got Zion dunking on Wemby, which never happens. Nobody ever dunks on Wemby because it seems like it's physically impossible because his arms are so long, and then Wemby followed it up by blocking, I don't know, every single shot the rest of the game. He finished with 9 blocks. He fouled out in overtime. Otherwise, he would have had a triple-double, 27 and 9, and the 9 was blocks. An unbelievable game. And again, just a reminder of how great Zion Williamson can be when he's healthy and how fun this Pelicans team can be when they, in general, are healthy. History tells us that probably won't be the case for the entire season, but still, it's fun while it's here, and it's just a reminder of how great it is to watch these two guys specifically. The contrast in styles between Zion's strength and athleticism, getting to his spots, getting to the rim, and Wemby just being able to cover every space on the floor is so much fun. Zion, in his own right, had a great game as well, had some clutch moments down the stretch, but the Spurs end up winning in overtime. But just a reminder that this is like King Kong against Godzilla. Like that's the matchup here. That's two unbelievable forces on the basketball court. And I honestly wish we could get this like once a week. Pelicans, Spurs, Zion, Wemby, because I just love watching them try and face off and figure each other out so much. Can someone explain to me what exactly Paolo Banchero is thinking here? The Hawks end up beating the Magic because Trae Young was unbelievable in the last minute of the game, and also Paolo put up one of the worst quote-unquote game winner attempts that we've seen in a very long time. A fadeaway 32-footer with 10 seconds left on the game clock. I have no explanation for what was going through his mind, and I'm a Paolo guy. I think Paolo's really good. I know there's a relatively large section of NBA fandom that thinks that he sucks because he's not efficient. He takes a bunch of mid-range jumpers, and there's all these other guys on the team like Franz that are better than him. I'm not one of those guys. I think Paolo's really, really good. His play style might not be the most aesthetically pleasing night to night, but he is an unbelievable player. This was a rough moment, though, for him, and they're going to have to get better at the end of these close games because Orlando is going to be in a lot of these close games. They guard really well. Their offense is going to have its moments where it doesn't play up to its potential, and you're going to have a lot of clutch moments in a very anticipated season this year for the Magic, and this Paolo game winner attempt is just not going to get it done. The Miami Heat had their first game without Terry Rozier on the roster, and they put up one of their highest point totals they've had in years. They absolutely destroyed the Memphis Grizzlies, and it's just hilarious to me that not only them, but a team we're going to talk about later as well, Portland, in their first game without, in Portland's case, their head coach, and in Miami's case, like bench guard that was doing literally nothing for them, but still he's just not on the roster. They both put up unbelievable offensive performances. Not to mention the fact that, by the way, Heat fans want their first round pick back. I'm seeing a bunch of people talking about how the NBA potentially knew about the situation with Terry Rozier when the Heat traded for him, and thus they should have told the Miami Heat, hey, this guy might go to jail. You probably shouldn't be trading a first round pick for him. And the NBA didn't do that. And so now Heat fans are like, wait a minute. We should be getting our first round pick back because we never would have traded for Terry Rozier if we knew that he was potentially throwing games or leaving the game early due to trying to get other people to cash on his unders. We would not have traded for the guy if we knew that. And I just think it's funny that Heat fans are upset about this. They should be upset about it. Like, if the NBA knew and didn't tell them and then they end up losing this first round pick as a result, yeah, that's a problem. It's just funny because the NBA is gonna get to that. Right now, the league is on fire. They're in the midst of this crazy gambling scandal. The head coach of one of the basketball teams just got arrested. They're gonna get to you eventually, Miami. They have some other stuff that they need to deal with first. I would assume that if Terry Rozier is found guilty and potentially goes to jail, whatever the case may be, he's going to be banned from the league. His salary is probably going to be voided. And at some point, the league will probably look at, okay, did we screw this up? Did the league know something was going on with Terry Rozier and fail to disclose that to the Heat? And should they be compensated for it? The problem is you can't just reverse the trade. You can't just say, okay, Charlotte, this first round pick that you've been counting on having, it now goes back to Miami. I don't really think that's how that works, but there could definitely be some compensation here. I just think it's kind of funny that Heat fans thinks that's at the top of the priority list when the league is literally on fire. The Washington Wizards have a better record than the Houston Rockets and have a better record than the Dallas Mavericks, a team that they just beat last night. And after the game, Jason Kidd apparently just now came to the conclusion that the Mavs are shorthanded at the point guard spot. You don't say that maybe sort of trading away Luka Doncic in exchange for Anthony Davis wasn't a fantastic idea, and that even though, yes, Kyrie Irving's hurt and that sucks, it still would have been a pretty good idea to maybe keep Luka on the roster. Thus, now you are shorthanded at the point guard position, so you're playing an 18-year-old rookie in Cooper Flagg at the point, and thus he has 5 turnovers, and you're losing at home to the Washington Wizards. And by the way, the Mavs are starting this season with a 5-game homestand, and they're 0-2. They're going to be fine. They're going to figure it out. I don't know if they're going to be like 50 wins fine. Probably not, but it's clear that the guard stuff is a problem. They're not playing D'Lo a ton. Kyrie isn't going to be coming back for months if he does come back, and so they're going to have to try and figure out a way to put together some kind of competent offense where they're not turning the ball over 25 times a game, and right now that is just something they have been unable to do. Flagg himself, I thought, was much better in this game. Despite the 5 turnovers, he was more aggressive. He was impactful. He was still impactful in their first game, but definitely more noticeable in this game. Anthony Davis, from a stat perspective, was good, but late in the game, he was not. And this is kind of starting to spiral already for Dallas 2 games into the year. You have 2 home games, you're 0-2, and one of those losses is to the Washington Wizards. That's just not going to work. But there's something else that we have to talk about. Keyshawn George is playing out of his mind. This is a guy that has generally been overlooked in Washington's draft class from a year ago. There's other guys people more excited about, and he looks like the foundational piece in Washington now. I was excited for him coming into the season. I saw him in person at Summer League. He was playing super well, and I was thinking, okay, maybe this could be someone that passes up like Coulibaly within the foundational hierarchy in Washington, and he's gone even like 3 levels above that. His stat line from last night was ridiculous. He's handling the ball a ton because they don't really have a bunch of lead guards. Like CJ McCollum has been bad. Bob Carrington is still figuring out. Chris Middleton isn't someone at this point, given the goals for the Wizards this year, that you want to be giving the ball to a lot in pick and roll stuff. And so Keyshawn George is attacking the rim. He's hitting pull-up threes. He's guarding well. He's defending the rim on occasion. He's doing literally everything. And this is one of the most out of nowhere breakout potential stars in the league this season because, one, people generally aren't paying a ton of attention to the Washington Wizards, and if they are, they're focusing on Trey Johnson, who's been really good in his first 2 games so far in his rookie season. They're focusing on Coulibaly potentially when he comes back. They're focusing on Alex Sarr, and the best guy on the team right now through 2 games has been Keyshawn George. Something to continue to keep an eye on in Washington for sure. Luka Doncic had 23 points in the first quarter, 49 for the game in a Lakers win against Minnesota, and he has been unbelievable to start the year. Skinny Luka is absolutely a thing. He's getting to his spots easier. He looks in better shape. He's not getting fatigued towards the end of these games. He looks unbelievable. What doesn't look unbelievable is the Lakers roster overall. It's a nice win against Minnesota, but just not having LeBron out there should not do this much to your rotation. DeAndre Ayton was pretty good in the second game. Rui was really good. Austin Reeves has been good. Apart from that, Jake LaRavia is like really involved. Marcus Smart is really involved. This rotation that not only is missing LeBron, but Dorian Finney-Smith left in the offseason as well, is really bad. The depth around Luka and LeBron when he returns is shockingly bad, much worse than really I anticipated that it would be, because I thought Jake LaRavia might be okay. I thought Marcus Smart maybe could give them something, and it is just a lot of guys out there that I did not think were going to be as involved as they are. Obviously, still early in the season, they can make some moves in the middle of the year, but as great as Luka has been, even when LeBron returns, this is starting to feel a little bit more like a gap year in LA, where maybe they win 45 games, 42 games, get some guys in free agency to beef up the rest of the roster, because when you really look at it, outside of Luka, LeBron, and Reeves, and Rui sometimes, the rest of the roster is not great. Warriors-Blazers. It's just hilarious to me that the Blazers' first game without Chauncey Billups after he gets arrested, they put up 139 points, one of their best offensive performances in years. And a lot of Trailblazers fans have been saying, hey, yeah, it's super weird that our head coach literally got arrested, but he might not have been all that great in the first place, and Tiago Splitter, as the interim coach, is probably going to be better, and we're going to be better offensively, and there's going to be things tactically that we're going to be doing better, and it's just one game against a tired Warriors team, but they might be right. Like, that might absolutely be a thing, and it's just objectively hilarious to me that a team can have their head coach arrested, and you would just assume, okay, vibes are going to be a little weird. You're not going to play particularly well. Portland was down pretty big early on in this game, and then they bring it all the way back. They beat the Warriors by 20, and we're just going to have to be on Tiago Splitter watch the rest of the way and see if he's the guy that's going to turn things around in Portland, because the head coach of the team literally got arrested. couple random things at the end here. This is the Michael Porter Jr. experience. You know what? I can respect it, Michael Porter Jr. Go get your shots up and get traded. I'm a Nets fan, by the way. It would be fantastic if Michael Porter Jr. plays his way into being on a different team by the middle of the year. And by the way, like Terrence Mann is standing out there. Nick Claxton is at the rim. Some other random guy is on the perimeter. I don't really blame him for not passing the ball a ton. Between him and Cam Johnson, they're going to shoot the ball like 40 to 45 times a game. And I just think it's hilarious. I don't have anywhere else in the video to put this, but I'm just going to leave this here without comment.